Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another episode of Wonderful Garbage. I'm your host, Angela. If you are new here, if I met you this week while out at South by Southwest, thank you so much for checking out an episode. I really appreciate it. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Okay, this episode is coming out late. My apologies. I was gonna do this after I got back from South by on Friday, and I just felt like absolute trash. I either had like dehydration plus this really disgusting espresso martini I had at one of the hotel bars around there. It tasted like rubbing alcohol. I still finished it because I thought, like, why not? Probably worst decision of my life. It was not great, made me feel really crappy. So I've just been chilling. So this is coming out later than normal. Sorry, but hopefully worth the wait. These pop culture recap episodes, if you're new here, I typically release them every Friday. So next week or this coming week, whenever you're listening to this, there will be a new episode on Friday for you to check out. My pop culture recap episodes, I like to recap celebrity news, gossip, things that happened during the week. And then we also do a weekend episode where I record thoughts on some of the Bravo shows I'm watching. So right now I'll be recapping and sharing my thoughts on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Summer House, and Southern Charm. Real Housewives of Atlanta just started their new season with almost a brand new cast, and it's centered more around Shamia. I will get into that in my episode that I do coming out next on Bravo TV things, but this is going to be all about pop culture. Let's talk a little bit about South by Southwest and then we'll get into it. So I went out a couple days this week to go check out some things. Wednesday, I took a half day from work and went straight downtown to see the Selena y Los Dinos documentary premiere. It was so good. I'm a Selena fan. I grew up with her, like listening to her music. My parents are from Corpus, so it's just nice to have that connection of they're from the same city where Selena was from. I grew up loving her. I loved her music. You know, the movie with J-Lo was huge. I watched that a lot. I haven't watched the series on Netflix just because I was like, I know like my Selena and I like to like see certain things. But this documentary was amazing. It also premiered at Sundance. Being able to be in a room with other people who idolize her and look up to her and have the same feelings, you know, that I do around Selena, it was really, really nice to be in that space with them. I cried starting with the opening credits and cried on and off throughout the entire documentary. Her sister Suzette, they did a Q&A after the documentary, and her sister Suzette did mention that it's going to be made available for consumption for other people to see soon. She didn't say what platform or when. So as soon as we know something, as soon as they post on social media, as soon as any news comes out about it, best believe I will be talking about it on the pod. But it was just really cool to see. I mean, the documentary was mainly archival footage that they had from filming back in the day, just getting started, and then on their tour bus, and different interviews from Selena, and watching her grow up, and just even seeing like some of the misogyny that she went through and experienced with different male TV hosts and radio hosts, and just seeing how strong she was and in how she carried herself. And she basically just didn't take any BS, and she wanted to be more than just a musician. Like, she loved music, but she also loved fashion. She designed a lot of the clothes that they wore when they were performing. And then just seeing her career taking off, and she's winning all these awards, and she won a Grammy, and she knew her next big step was going to be breaking into the English market. And she was so nervous about that. Didn't know how it was going to be perceived and how it was going to go. And knowing that she was about to release an album and then was murdered by her fan club president turned employee for for her boutique that they opened in Corpus. Just incredibly sad. And you could hear everyone else around us were sniffling. I went with my cousin and 2 of my friends, and I mean, my makeup was completely gone by the end of the documentary. It was beautiful. It was so well done. Her parents were there as well. Her husband, Chris, was there. A couple of her bandmates. We got to actually meet one of them. We ran into him downtown later on when we were at dinner. And so Pete, we got to meet him, one of their guitarists. And, you know, he told us a really cool story about Selena and then just how important it is that we are continuing her legacy, that like all the people that came today are the reason why they're doing this. He goes, look, I know they did the movie, we did the series. He goes, I did think like, why are we doing something else? He said, but when I saw the documentary and I saw how everything was coming together, he said, it's just the best way that we can honor her, because a lot of it is Selena talking. It's her interviews, it's home movies, it's behind the scenes at shows or seeing her right after a show in their hotel room, you know? So it was just, it was beautiful. I told my friend, I was like, I wish I had a copy that I could watch it again. As I think I was so in my feelings and obviously heightened emotions watching it. And I want to go back because I feel like I missed so much, but it was a beautiful documentary. And her family, like I posted a couple clips of the Q&A that they did after the documentary, and there's just so many people that have, you know, a lot of opinions about Selena and her family. And I think it's a beautiful way to keep her legacy alive, especially in this accessible world that we have where so many things are streamable. You can listen to her music, you can fall in love with her music, and then you get to see her through this documentary and really come to love her even more. I think it was just really well done and I loved it, and I can't wait till everyone else can see the documentary. So we did that Wednesday, and then we went walking around downtown. My friends and I were from Austin. We're used to going to these events before, but y'all, it was like a ghost town. Almost all the bars on 6th Street were offering free drinks to get you in because it was dead. We're just so used to it always being busy during South by Southwest. Even last weekend, when I was like traveling to go see some friends and meet them for lunch, no traffic, nobody out on the streets. We were like, what is happening? And I thought, okay, maybe just like a Wednesday. Maybe people are still at work. They're not going to come out as much yet. So I went back out yesterday, Friday, to promote the podcast. So if you're listening because of my cheaply made sign, thank you so much. But again, Friday, second to the last day of South by Southwest, barely anybody out there too. I walked all the way down to 7th Street, around the Paramount area. Nobody. And then I made my way back down to 2nd, so I stopped like at 6th Street. Barely anybody. 5th, 4th, everything was just like a ghost town. It was so weird. I ended up hanging out back at the spot where the tram dropped me off from coming into downtown, and that's where I saw the most people. There was not a lot of people out. I think obviously more at the interactive events people are going to, because music wasn't really as many days as it has been in the past. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know what's going on. Maybe people aren't just interested in going out. Maybe it's popping off today and I'm not down there. Also, it was hot as hell yesterday. I don't know. I should have just stayed home. It was so hot. But I don't know. I love my city. It's a different South by Southwest. I've met someone else down there who's also from Austin, and we were talking about like, yeah, like back in the day, it would be so busy, it would be chaotic, but it would be fun. And this time around, there just weren't a lot of people down there. It was a definitely different vibe than the South by Southwest that we've seen in years past. But overall, it was good. I met some cool people. I did meet some nice people. A lot of rude people out there, which I was like, okay, you're not from Austin, because Austinites don't act like this. Oh, okay, let's get into pop culture things. That's why you're here. Okay, a couple Bravo things. The Valley season 2 trailer dropped this week. It is drama, it is chaos, and it seems like all of the guys are trash except Luke and Zach. Are we surprised? No. Brittany and Jax, we see Jax being served with divorce papers. We had heard rumors that papers were given off camera and that they did it again for filming. I don't give a shit. Let's embarrass this man as much as we can for how he has treated his estranged wife and so many other women on TV. Justice for Laura Lee, Vanderpump Rules Season 1. If you know, you know. Brittany says that she also had asked for a restraining order and full custody, or at least like majority custody, because it's Jax. Jax wastes no time with the separation because he brings a girl home, apparently. There's thong evidence on their bathroom counter. She just left her thong there. I'm sure Jax was like, don't worry, leave it behind. I'll clean it up. I'm sure Jax had placed that there on their bathroom counter for Brittany to see, because that's the kind of man he is. We see Jax telling Schwartz, of course, Schwartz has to stop in. He has nothing else to do. Saying that, you know, like, man, I'm a great father, but I'm a really terrible husband. If you were a great father, you would also respect the mother of your child. And you don't. Also, if you watch The Valley last season, all the times that Jax was like yelling at Brittany about her drinking, putting her down, all these things. And then to know that he has like a severe cocaine addiction and was maybe doing who knows what during season 1, but coming at Brittany so hard. Also, Brittany had said that like she hasn't. I listened to her podcast. She did an episode with Kristen. She said she hasn't gotten sick like she was getting sick. She was throwing up all the time, not feeling good, stomach issues, and she hasn't had that since she separated from Jax. And it's amazing the stress that we put on our bodies, or unintentionally, right? Just because of our surroundings and the way that our body responds to that. It's incredible. And it's almost like a wake-up call, right? Like, you're putting yourself in this negative environment, in this negative space. And your body is trying to tell you internally, hey, something's going on. We don't like it here. And now that she's out of that environment, her body feels good. It's crazy. Science is wild. It's not science. Anywho, Kristen and Luke, we see them get engaged in the trailer. And we see Kristen feuding with Janet, who, oh my goodness, I can't wait to see a non-pregnant Janet. I want to know if she is as insufferable. If you're new here, just know I sometimes don't pronounce things right. Love me anyway. I hope Janet is still annoying like she was in season 1. We need a good villain, you know? But Kristen does tell her that she's a fucking fan, and I love that. I need that on some James May merch stat. Nia and Danny, oh my goodness, y'all. Danny is apparently a creep. There's a clip of them saying, like, he gets handsy when he's drunk. Doesn't sound like he's handsy with, like, his wife. It's other things. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but last season of The Valley, there was a little clip of Danny and Nia's oldest son saying, like, Daddy needs to not drink. You can't drink, Daddy, or something like that. And he's like, oh, yeah, I gotta, like, stop doing that, or like slow it down or whatever. I feel like there's a lot more to Danny's drinking that we don't know about. Also, this could be a total stretch, because you know how Bravo producers like to fuck around with us in trailers that they do and in previews. Let's not forget Real Housewives of New York pregnancy prank, that dumb shit. Remember, we thought somebody was actually pregnant, and there was this big thing in the trailer and all these previews, and all of it was just for a dumb prank. Oh my goodness, it was absolutely horrible. So I hope the Bravo producers aren't doing the same thing here with the Valley. And I hope we like get to see what's Danny's shit, because it just kind of seems like there's something else there. Oh my goodness, Michelle and Jesse. I don't know how they were together for so long. These people are horrible to each other. The trailer for them starts out bad, but then by the end of it, Jesse makes this comment like, how are Michelle and I the most stable ones in this room? I'm like, what happened? Because the way you guys started off in this trailer, I was not sure how you were going to be able to be together. Jesse thinks that Michelle cheated on him with a billionaire. Hell yeah, go Michelle. And then he calls her a hooker. And she's like, I'm the mother of your fucking child. And she calls him a drunk. So, and throws a drink in his face, like a glass of water, something major. Something minor, not major. I don't know. I'm glad they're not together anymore, because that shit looks toxic, and they have a child, and just like, don't do that. Like, don't have that energy around your child. Okay, Janet and Jason. I don't even know if this is true in the trailer, because Janet and Jason were joking about it on a podcast, but it comes out in the trailer that Jason takes off his wedding ring when he goes out. It could have been like one time he forgot to wear his wedding ring. I don't know. And then it became a thing. I don't see Jason doing that, but also like, you can't trust anybody, so maybe. I don't know. We didn't get too much Jasmine and Zach in the trailer, which like, boo, that sucks. Jasmine does call someone a Karen, and I'm assuming it's Janet, because who else would it be? Zach says he's done with the group because they make him crazy, but we know he's not. His hair looks really good in the trailer too. But the season 2 of The Valley premieres on tax day, so we should be getting it in about a month or so. Okay, we also heard this week that Brittany is taking over her podcast that she did with Jax. When reality hits, it's just going to be Brittany. She posted about it earlier this week. New cover art. She's like sitting in a director's chair. Her hair and makeup's getting done. She has that film clapperboard thing. And so like, she's a working woman. She has new episodes every Friday, just like us. So listen to Brittany's podcast if you can. And then come listen to this one. Or listen to this one first, and then go listen to Brittany's. Support women. Jax also has his own podcast called In the Mind of a Man. And he's going on a podcast tour, which I saw a lot of comments being like, oh my goodness, why? Who literally asked for this? And then some comments were like, ugh, as like a newly sober person, that could be really rough, because Jax is like 80-something days sober from alcohol and cocaine. If you listen to the episode I did last week, we talked about his cocaine addiction that he came out about. But yeah, like going on a multi-city tour, I feel like is really stressful. And then you're going to different cities. Of course, you want to check out different places. That includes bars, especially depending where you're going. So I hope he continues to stay sober 100%. It just sounds like a lot for a newly sobered person to do. I'm sure Schwartz is going to be on some shows. Why not? I don't know. Okay, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are back up and filming. They were spotted filming out of Hot Springs a couple weeks ago with Lisa and Meredith. Lisa was here at South by Southwest, actually. So I guess it was last week they were caught filming. Lisa was out of town. Mary's also there, but she's like saying hi from the dock because Mary is not going to go into Hot Springs whatsoever. I also saw some pictures of Heather and Bronwyn filming together. So these ladies have wasted no time. They're getting back up. They're getting back in it. I can't freaking wait. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Teddi Mellencamp. She was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for a couple seasons. Also, John Mellencamp's daughter. She was diagnosed So she's had melanoma for a really long time, skin cancer. Over the last 7 years or so, she's gotten 17 spots removed. She's shown her scars. There's some really gnarly scars on her back. Most recently, she got her last melanoma patch or area removed last December. She said about 6 months ago, she was getting really bad migraines, had no idea what was going on. And she found out back in early February, she went into the hospital because she could barely walk. She could barely open her eyes. She was forgetting words. She was shaking really badly. Again, she had these migraines for the last 6 months, didn't think anything of it, just thought it was stress. She was also going through a divorce or a separation. So there are a lot of stuff happening in her world that I'm assuming she thought was the issue of her migraines. Turns out she had 7 tumors in her brain. So immediate surgery. She had 4 tumors removed a couple weeks ago. She says the rest are going to be treated with radiation and immunotherapy. The doctors think that will be okay. But she thought she was dying. She had no idea what was going on. She said on her podcast that she does with Tamra Judge, who's on the Real Housewives of Orange County. She returned to their podcast this week and was talking all about it. She said they found 2 additional tumors in her lungs, and they're hoping that the radiation that she starts next week will kill those as well. Apparently, with melanoma, it can spread and cause these tumors that she's seen. So it's pretty common, I was reading, that for people with melanoma to also get brain tumors if it's not caught quickly. The way Teddi sounded, I mean, she just had brain surgery a month ago, and she sounded coherent. She sounded clear. She cried. I mean, she sounded scared. There was just so many feelings. I don't really listen to their podcast too much because I'm not a fan of Tamra, but I did listen for Teddi and just to hear what was going on. But it's so incredibly sad. 7 brain tumors. I can't imagine. And Tamra had even said in their podcast, you have been different the past 6 months. Your moods have changed. Your behaviors changed. You're more agitated. There were these little things going on that Tamra just had no idea what was happening. But now it makes sense that she had all these tumors in her brain. So we're so glad that Teddi's okay. Totally hoping that this radiation is going to help her, because gosh, that is just incredibly scary. So let's also talk about Tamra's cast trip to New Orleans, where she had threatened to quit the show, and I was joking that she was using Teddi's cancer diagnosis as an excuse because she was so overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. But the Real Housewives of Orange County ladies were in New Orleans filming a trip. The amount of Bravo people out in the wild is so fun because they always snap pics when something's going on. So nothing's really a secret anymore unless Bravo really wants to keep it a secret. But there's so many pictures of the Orange County ladies walking all around New Orleans. Gretchen is there and her big ass headband. But all the ladies were there. All of a sudden, Tamra posts a story on Instagram saying, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Thanks. Memories, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember. I totally made that whole thing up. I don't remember what she said, but she posted something on her Instagram, and I deleted it from my phone. Otherwise, I would take a look. Saying that, or hinting at her being done with the Real Housewives of Orange County. So she talks about it on her podcast with Teddi, this latest one that they just put out. She said, I just hit a wall. There's so much going on in my life. She says that she feels like she's going to be in depressed mode, join the club. Says that she feels like she can't pull herself out of a funk. There's just been so much going on, and was really anxious with filming their new season of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I wonder why, Tamra, you made Shannon's season complete shit last year. You teamed up with her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend turned fiance to just shit on Shannon the entire season. Fans came back at you so hard, were disgusted with how you acted in the season, and now you're anxious to go back. You caused all this. This is your doing, you know? So, but she was saying, like, stress of the show, stress in her life, the things going on with Teddi, like, just made her want to quit. Just because also, like, filming this kind of reality show that is toxic, I will acknowledge that. I've said it on the podcast before. I could never do reality TV. I am grateful for these ladies, for these people who go on these reality shows and share a lot of their life with us. And it's up for human consumption, and it's up to us. Like, we can judge the shit out of it, is basically what I'm trying to say. I can imagine that toll that it takes on you. When I get, like, a mean comment on TikTok or on a post, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I can't imagine that happening day in, day out for years, and, like, multiple articles and multiple people. So she was just saying, yeah, like, I kind of want to quit because being on this type of show just breaks you down so hard. But Teddi had told her, like, if I can have a bald head and be fat now, you can get your ass back out there and film with these women. Andy Cohen was on his podcast, Bravo Daddy, but maybe not for much longer. There might be rumors of some leadership changes around Bravo. Not too sure how true all of that is, but maybe not. Who fucking knows? But Andy was on his show and he said that he got a report of what happened in New Orleans on the trip, but he can't say anything else about it or anything about it whatsoever because they're filming. So, and we know Tamra didn't really quit. That's like, she's coming back. Also, Tamra is truly allowed to feel this way, right? One of your best friends is going through something crazy. You're anxious to film this reality show that you've been on for years, but it was so negative last year. Not only did Tamra start all this shit with Shannon, she also did the same to her friend that she brought on the show, Jen, which if you watch Bravo, you know that's how it goes, right? A housewife brings on a friend to the show, and they always end up turning on each other. And Tamra treated Jen like shit. It was bad. So Tamra had a really rough season. Of course, she's a little nervous to go back and film because she was a total bitch. But actions speak louder than words. If you want to get out of your funk, fix the things that you can. Control what you can. Treat people better. The drama from last season was mainly caused by her. So just be more compassionate. Like, have your I'm sorry, I did bad season, but actually mean it. Like, we don't need messy Tammy Sue anymore. Well, sometimes we do, but for the most part, like, just be a better human being. But I guess if you were a better human being, you probably wouldn't make for reality TV. Okay, let's talk about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's back. Almost. Season 2 is coming out in May. The trailer for it dropped earlier this week. Also, we're getting a new cast member. We're getting a new cast member, Miranda Hope. She was also a part of the soft swinging group that Taylor was a part of, and we know, like, Taylor's the reason for this show, really. So she's also a part of Mom Talk, but Miranda is recently divorced. In the trailer, we also see Whitney is back, and she's like, why are all the girls holding grudges against me? Maybe because you were an absolute monster last season. That's why. And also because you put your pregnancy test, your peed on pregnancy test in a cake for your family to cut and eat to let them know that you're pregnant with another kid. Absolutely disgusting. No, thank you. Also, like, a lot of them are pregnant. Macy, Michaela, and Jen are currently pregnant. I'm assuming we're going to see 1 or 2 of them in their early pregnancies of the show. or finding out that they're pregnant on this show. You know that they're timing that shit for this filming, right? Also, Demi and Jesse are no longer BFFs. It seems like there's a divide with Demi and Taylor and Jesse and a couple of the other girls. But yeah, another season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I'm a fan of it. I started watching it. I binged it in a weekend. It was so good. But that's going to be back May 15th. So in 2 months, we get that show back. I cannot wait. All right, let's talk about Wendy Williams. I haven't really talked about her too much on the podcast before, and honestly, a little ignorant, or a lot ignorant, to what had been going on with her. I knew she was in a guardianship. I knew she had marital issues in the past and substance abuse issues, but I didn't know how the guardianship started. And then seeing her do a couple interviews this week, it was pretty eye-opening. But she's been in the press a lot more lately. Her fans are backing her to be released from that guardianship. She's had multiple health issues over the years. She has Graves' disease, thyroid issues. She divorced her husband after he had a baby with another woman. There were rumors that he had been cheating on her for like 10 years. Lots of substance abuse issues as well. So the guardianship started a couple years ago from Wells Fargo, which was her bank out of all things. They thought she wouldn't be able to handle her finances, just seemed not in the right mindset, I guess. Also read something that she had wanted to change banks. So was this like a weird thing for her to not be able to leave because they're going to say she needs a conservatorship or some sort of guardianship to help protect her. They're also thinking a former employee was spreading some rumors, or it was in an article I read that the former employee was upset with Wendy, also lost access to Wendy's money, and then things started coming out about her mental capacity. So she entered initially into a inpatient wellness program back in 2022 just to help with her health and wellness. But okay, this is the timeline of how all this stuff happened. I can't imagine going through all this stuff every single year, throughout the year, so many things going on. So April 2019, she filed for divorce and finalized in January 2020, right before COVID and the pandemic. Her talk show went on a hiatus May 2020, height of the pandemic, and was supposed to return in the fall of 2021, but was pushed back because of COVID. Then it was released in February 2022, so about 6 months after her show was supposed to be back. That February, it was announced that she was not going to be returning to the show. That's when the guardianship started. That's when she entered into that inpatient treatment. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us could have been in inpatient treatment after the pandemic or during the pandemic. What a wild, insane time. I do joke that sometimes I do miss the fact that I can't just stay home. I mean, I can stay home. I don't just feel obligated to go out and do stuff I don't want to do. But she filed for divorce. Show went on a hiatus. Her show was her life. She was so freaking good at it. She is so freaking good at it. Then all this inpatient stuff, all these things happening. I can't imagine having to go through all that. You know, like her life was just turned upside down. And then last year we found out that she had been diagnosed with dementia and aphasia. They said that like she just had some erratic behavior, had trouble remembering words, and then was tested to figure out what was going on. She was on the Breakfast Club show and then The View also this week. She spoke about her Help Wendy sign that she had in the memory care unit that she was in. She said she asked for help because she is in a memory ward in this assisted living facility. But she's like, I haven't fully lost my memory. Like, I'm still cognitively here somewhat. It doesn't seem like her dementia is advanced or as serious as it's been seen with other people. She was able to get into a hospital. She was having some chest pain. So was moved or got picked up by an ambulance, taken to the hospital to get checked out, was able to request cognitive tests there, competency test. She passed all of those. I listened to the part of her interview on The View. It was just an audio interview, but she sounds clear. She said, this memory unit that she's in, it's with 70, 80, 90-year-olds. She's like, that's not me. I don't know why I'm here. Also, you don't want to put her in a space where she can deteriorate quicker. If she truly does have dementia, like, what can you do to help delay that as much as possible, or put her in an environment that is more supporting versus this living facility where she can't do as much, but she wants to get a new guardian to help get her life back. It doesn't sound like she's doing as bad as it was making her out to be. I saw another video. Her niece went to pick her up from the assisted living facility and take her out to dinner with approval from her guardian. Says that she was just going to go out to celebrate life because she was feeling good. Says that she feels fabulous about the Free Wendy movement. In this video, she looks different. She does, like, her face has changed. She's lost some weight. She's looking more fragile than we're used to seeing her. And I think people are equating that to that she's, like, sick. She's mentally ill. All these things. I think Wendy should have care with her dementia and aphasia 100%. Like, she needs someone to live with her, probably. She needs a team to probably help her. But she doesn't need to be locked up and unable to be a part of society. So it was just sad to see. We'll see what happens. Who knows? She just says, like, I need a new guardian and I need a new judge that's going to be fair to me. Because I'm clearly not as incapacitated, or not incapacitated, like I'm fine. I also probably said that word wrong. Okay, let's get into Tracy Tutor and Dorit Kemsley drums. So Tracy Tutor is from $1 Million Listing Los Angeles. It's a real estate show on Bravo. I loved watching it. It's one of my husband's favorite shows because it's real estate, it's drama. We like guessing the price of the houses. We like seeing how much commission they're going to make. But Tracy was on Jeff Lewis Live earlier this week, and she spilled a little tea about Dorit from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Tracy said that Dorit stalks her Instagram and the people that she uses for glam, that Dorit does not pay her glam squad bills. Said Dorit owed a hairstylist that they both use a significant amount of money. And Tracy's like, this isn't the only person. Like, Dorit owes multiple people money. Yes. Are we surprised? No. Dorit was on Watch What Happens Live. I did a recap of her appearance on my TikTok. Go check that out. Shameless plug. Dorit said that Tracy is attention seeking and that the wrong invoice was submitted by the hairstylist. So that's why it delayed his payment, or why he hadn't gotten paid yet. The hairstylist also did a really long video on Instagram. Or no, it was TikTok. He did a video on TikTok, but I saw it on Instagram because I'm old. And it was a lot of nothing. Basically, miscommunication. Dorit asked this hairstylist to stay an extra couple of days in New York to help her with a couple gigs that she was doing, do her hair, makeup, etc. She said, I'll pay for your hotel, the extra days, obviously services. Okay, cool. Dorit said, let me give you my card to put on file to extend the hotel stay. She did that. She sent in a couple of the credit authorization forms. Thought everything was good. A couple of days after the trip, the hairstylist gets a $3,000 charge from the hotel for the extra stay of the rooms that Dorit was supposed to pay for. He added that fee to an invoice and sent it to her. He said also They had some other events going on later on, so he was still working with her even though he hadn't gotten that other money yet. Figured it was coming, but now it's been like 4 months and there was still no money. The guy was like, I'm just going to call Dorit to see what's going on. I haven't been paid. I had this extra $3,000 charge on my credit card. What's going on? Dorit and him talk. This guy's at Tracy's house, so that's why Tracy knows all of this stuff and went and shared all of her shit on Jeff Lewis Live. Said that Dorit said that he was lying about everything, asked if he was coherent and right in the head. I was like, oh, Dorit. Oh, you know Dorit fights dirty. You know she does. We've seen it on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills already. We've heard it from her and PK that when they fight, it's like they say the nastiest shit to each other. So I can't imagine Dorit just going in on somebody like this. She says, look, I'll pay the balance in full, but we're never going to work with each other again. Turns out, though, the hairstylist never went back to check his credit card statement. The hotel had removed that $3,000 charge, and Dorit had actually paid for the room. So Dorit didn't want to pay that invoice that had the $3,000 charge on it because she had paid it. She thought the guy was trying to get more money from her. He didn't know that the charges had been removed. That's what all this shit stems from. But Tracy got all the tea and she went and spilled it on Jeff Lewis. Which, perfect timing. Guess what show just got put on pause at Bravo? $1 Million Listing Los Angeles. The show that Tracy was on. So in the past, Tracy had said if she was given the opportunity, she would 100% sign up for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She lives there. She knows a lot of people. She's one of the top real estate agents in the area. She knows the show. She's been on Bravo for 4 years. Like, she's used to the drama. She could do it. Now the show's got put on pause. She just happens to be on Jeff Lewis Live talking shit, starting a little fight with Dorit. Y'all, I would like Tracy on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bring some new blood into the cast. I know we have Jennifer Tilly. She's a friend of. She's not really in the drama, but I think she's good on the show because she's rich as fuck. And she brings some quirkiness. I think Tracy would be good because she isn't afraid to start drama. She says that she knows Crystal, who used to be on the show. She knows Garcelle, who's currently on the show. And she kind of knows Kyle. I feel like selfishly Kyle would want her on the show because I think Kyle needs a new friend, a new confidant. And I think Tracy could be that. Also, Tracy is rich too. She's worked her ass off in real estate for years. She's self-made rich. That's what we love to see on these shows. So I'm in. I'm down. What do you guys think? Would you want Tracy Tutor to be on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I think it's a good fit. I think it would be fun. Okay, a couple more things and we're going to wrap it up. Alex Cooper is getting into the unscripted TV market. It was announced this week that the Unwell Network is going to have its first unscripted series at Hulu. And it's going to be a dating show. Right now it has the working title, Overboard for Love. It takes place on a luxury yacht with a bunch of singles, but there's a twist with how you can access certain amenities on the yacht. So I'm assuming some challenges, things that we see on Love Island. Her husband, also business partner, is a producer alongside with Jeff Jenkins Productions, and they also produce Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is also on Hulu. So that's all the information we have on it right now. We don't have a premiere date. Again, the working title, so it's not isn't set to be Overboard for Love, but I think it's cute. Another dating show. I love a messy dating show. Besides the Bachelor stuff. If you're new here, I don't watch the Bachelor stuff. I don't cover it. I watch the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorette, but also that makes me annoyed sometimes. Also, I'd rather prioritize Bravo than Bachelor stuff, but don't come for me. Maybe one day I will have the time and mental capacity to do it. Speaking of mental capacity, Lisa Vanderpump is getting a whole ass hotel in Las Vegas. How? How quickly is this going to crumble? Is this going to be profitable? Like, I am stressed for Lisa Vanderpump. She is partnering with Caesars to open her own hotel called the Vanderpump Hotel. It's set to open in 2026 and is going to take over the current Cromwell Hotel. But they are redesigning it, new suites, new rooms. She's working with Nick Lane, of course. He's the person who has designed her restaurant, starting with Tom Tom. He's designed the other 3 or 4 that they've done together, but it's going to have 188 rooms, 19 suites that are attainable luxury. I don't think Lisa Vanderpump knows what attainable luxury is. Her attainable is different from my attainable, 100%. As I'm recording this in my pajamas. I'm like, is there going to be a koi pond in each suite? Will there be swans and miniature ponies running around? Like, how Lisa Vanderpump is this shit going to get? And she has multiple restaurants in Vegas already. I went to the one in Paris last time I was there. It was fun. I got the cutest little drink. It was my birthday. It was poppin' for sure. She says there's no plans to film at the hotel. Doesn't think that they would do any kind of like design reality series where they're documenting. I was about to say documentarying. I need to go to bed. Documenting them designing and redoing the hotel, but she jokes that reality does follow her around. But so then I was thinking, like, would she have a show? Like, how would you be able to have a show filmed there? Wouldn't you be annoyed if you were there as a guest and there's just camera crews all around filming the staff? I feel like it would have to be filmed, like, in specific parts of the hotel. And maybe it's not all in the hotel, but it's, like, their lives, like how we do our other shows, like Vanderpump Rules and whatnot. But also, like, is it needed? I don't know. I'm just so nervous. I hope this hotel is successful. Because that's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money. I know that she's partnering with Caesars, who's like, it's Caesars, right? But, like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. It takes a while, I would think, to make a profit from a hotel. But congratulations to Lisa Vanderpump. It sounds fucking wild. I wonder if she's gonna get some tips from Adrienne Maloof, because her and her family own a hotel down there too. I was too lazy to look it up because, again, I think I'm still suffering from dehydration. I even went and got a massage this morning, and I have been downing water like crazy. Probably one of the best massages I've ever had in my entire life. It's called Body Lab Spa. If you're in the Austin area, it's in Cedar Park. Oh my goodness, they beat my back so good. I was definitely wincing in a couple spots, but I'm currently sore, but I know I'm going to feel like a brand new woman tomorrow. So get ready for some probably unhinged and long-winded Bravo TV recaps tomorrow. Alrighty, y'all, that is it for this week's recap, pop culture things. There is so much that happened. I also do some other recaps on TikTok. Please go check that out. And follow me on social media. I would totally appreciate it. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Bluesky. I've really given up on, but I'm still on it. I post like once a week, so you'll get more from me on Instagram and TikTok for sure. And also, please make sure you have followed, you have subscribed, you're liking the episode. And again, if I ran into you this week at South by Southwest, and that's why you're checking this podcast out, I really do appreciate it so much. One guy told me I was brave for going and standing out there. I was just like, is this like you're insulting me? Or do you mean this truly? I'm brave for standing out here in the 90-degree weather with my thick ass jeans and my cowboy boots and the $12 cheap ass sign I made. But sure, she's brave, y'all. She's brave. Thank you guys again for listening. If you enjoyed this, please go back and listen to some other episodes. I totally appreciate it. And share this with anyone you think would like it. All right, y'all. Until next time.